Arrow Season 5, Episode 16, Checkmate. This is a really good episode. We get to see the team officially going up against Prometheus now that they know who they're going up against, that is Chase. And I love the way they played that. I mean, he is, he's officially known as the villain to the characters now. But throughout the episode, he's just like, hey guys, I'm doing my job. I'm still, still showing up at City Hall. The end of the episode, it's like, oh man, Oliver's randomly missing. I'm in mourning because my wife is dead. And, only the heroes know what's happening, but every time they know the truth, there's something stopping them. Like at first, he had Susan in the beginning of the episode, and then at the end of the episode, it's like, well, you still can't say anything because now we have Oliver. So they know the truth. They even, now that they've saved Susan, she has evidence. Or it's like, it was definitely this guy, but there's nothing they can do. They even have, the drive given to Pike, who may or may not survive because he gets stabbed after Oliver gives him the information. So there's just a lot of elements to it where I'm like, man, I love the way it's playing out, where they know exactly who they're going up against, but every time they deal with him, they can't kill him because, he has some sort of leverage where it's like, if we kill him, someone else will end up dead. So I love the way that played out, where he's constantly ahead of them. We have the beginning of the episode, which threw in a bit of a surprise for me, where Oliver goes to Talia al Ghul, and he finds out that Ra's al Ghul was her father, which just kind of blew my mind. I mean, I guess they didn't spend that much time together, but she's like, I helped you out. I helped him basically get revenge on you for killing his father because by that time you'd killed my father. And I was like, man, that's a really good reason. And then they do the reveal. And I was like, wow, that whole time he never knew that Talia al Ghul was Talia al Ghul. So I love that because it was just kind of surprise. It was a surprise for Oliver, and I was like, that's pretty cool that he never knew that. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty cool. But I just like the way it played out. And she's like, this is why I taught him, and I'm still mad at you, and I want him to have his revenge. And then she actually shows up at the end of the episode to help Adrian, where she shoots Oliver in the back of the leg and hits him with like a tranquilizer dart, and then they kidnap him. So we have the whole next episode where the team is going to be searching for Oliver, and I don't know, I still don't understand what the plan is. Like, the whole thing is to torture Oliver, but it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be by going after the people he really loves. At least, that was the beginning of the plan with Susan, but now that they have him, Adrian was like, it's basically that I'm supposed to show you who you truly are, so I don't know what the heck that's supposed to mean. So there's just a lot, and they seem to be asking him some sort of question that Oliver truly doesn't, know himself. So I'm confused as to what torture, they're going to be putting Oliver through. I'm very excited for it, actually, but I just really love what they did with this episode, where everybody knows, what's going on, and they just can't find a way to, get to him. They can't find a way to get to Prometheus, but they do through Felicity and through Helix, which is, of course, leading down the road of these people asking her to do some really dangerous things, where she's just like, okay, because it helps us find really horrible people. And it's a hacker organization, and considering what Felicity used to do, it probably doesn't bother her nearly as much, and I'm sure it won't until it gets to the point where maybe she helps them lead to sort of another Haven Rock type situation, where it's like, she's upset because they're ready to destroy something. Maybe it won't be that, nuke based, but maybe they'll do something that could possibly destroy, a certain population as far as economically, or, if it's like based off of crops and things, they like wipe out an entire town because they do something to the supply or whatever they have, their hands on. They hack into a drone. There's a lot there. So at this point, she's just like, hey, I'm going to use all these resources, and of course, because they kind of come to her towards the middle of the episode, like, hey, we gave you a lot of help, and people are starting to wonder what you're going to do for us. So she's starting that back and forth since she's decided to join them. So she's like, I'm going to use all the resources I can to find my friend, and of course, I will do whatever you guys need me to do in order for me to keep being able to use these resources. So it's just leading down that dark path, but I thought it was cool. They did some good in this episode, but I know that it's just going to lead to them being villains. So, we'll see how that plays out. But I kind of like, I know some people just don't like Felicity in general, but I actually like where they're headed with this, just because I'm curious how they could be that big of a threat. And, you know, especially with what she did in this episode where it's like, oh, why do you guys need me to hack into a drone? Whenever somebody says need to know and we already don't kind of trust them, I'm like, okay, well that, boom, villain stuff right there. That's going to be step one to whatever evil plan that they have that they think is kind of cool to take down some bad organization or something like that, and then it's going to destroy way more innocent people just to wipe out some crappy organization. So I feel like, you know, this is where it starts, and it definitely is. So we'll see what really builds up within these next couple of episodes, and I would assume that with the way this is, it's hard to say if they'll conclude this within this season. Like, I would assume that they won't, just because we, you know, I think we probably have like maybe 9 more episodes. We'd go around 25. I doubt they'd even go up to 26 episodes, but if, you know, and that's stretching it, I think we'd only go up to like 22 or 23 episodes, but going up to like 25 episodes, I still don't think they conclude the Helix storyline, and maybe they will be the main villains for the next season because they'll either release some other supervillain or they'll be just doing really crazy stuff themselves, and it'll lead to the team needing to go against people that they can't just fight. So I'm excited to see how that does play out, because I feel like it's leading to something more than just, you know, like, oh, they suck and then Felicity leaves. It's going to have to be more than that. So I'm excited for where they're headed for that. But like I said, the main story for this episode was really good. The flashbacks were actually pretty good, mostly because they were actiony flashbacks, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But, you know, still not a ton of story, but we do have them going after Gregor. We have Oliver actually putting his suit on, and I love that scene where he's like, thanks for the help, and Anatoly's like, what's that thing you're doing with your voice? Because it's him kind of in the beginning of kind of splitting the darker side of him from Oliver Queen. So I thought that was pretty funny. And of course they have 2 references to the present timeline, where not only does Adrian say, like, if you kill me, you'll only be killing yourself, but so does Gregor. He says that in the past timeline, and then early on in the episode, when Oliver's telling his buddies, like, hey, this woman taught me to split the darkness from my lighter side, and then Anatoly's like, you know, don't listen to her because someday she'll be the death of you. So it's kind of a reference to her, you know, training Adrian to, who wants to torture Oliver and I guess not kill him. I don't know, drive him insane, I guess. But you know, those were like the 2 big references to the beginning, and that kind of worked in the past, because that was the whole reason that Anatoly was mad when Oliver showed up, because whatever happens with Gregor, for whatever reason, which I can't wait to see that, because I was like, once the story kind of kept going, I was like, okay, it's very confusing as to why Anatoly would possibly be mad at this guy, you know, at his former friend, when Gregor betrayed them all. Like, he was setting them up, and it's like, you know, they take off, and it's 3, you know, it's Oliver, Anatoly, and the other guy, so it's just the 3 of them, and then Gregor, who is trying to set the rest of the Bratva against them. It just confuses me, like, how in the world could Oliver possibly kill this guy and make Anatoly angry? So I'm excited to see that. We still haven't seen Oliver actually get the captain tattoo yet, so he still has to do that, and I would assume he'd do that before he ends up actually killing Anatoly's, or killing Gregor. So we'll see how that plays out, but I was like, man, I'm kind of excited to see why them killing this guy ends up being Oliver breaking the rules. Like, I'm just very curious why that's an issue, considering what Gregor did to them beforehand. So I'm actually looking forward to what they're going to do with that. But I really love how they, you know, brought things together in this episode, and Prometheus, or Chase, being this villain, him killing his wife. And I knew that was going to happen. I was like, okay. I thought they found his mom, because they found like her actual name and stuff. I thought it was going to be his mother. But then they brought in his wife and told her the truth and everything, and he hugs her and stuff. I thought, honestly, I thought he was going to just snap her neck in the beginning, and he's just like, you know, why'd you bring her here? And I'm like, every time he says a line, it sounds really, really definitive, and I'm like, he's going to kill her. And then, of course, he says, I'm going to, he either says, I'm going to make this right, or I'm going to finish this. And I was like, yep, and there it is. But, of course, you know, he ends up stabbing her, and she does die. She actually dies on the way to the hospital. So it was just crazy. I was like, wow. And of course he, you know, blames that on Oliver, who initially had the plan, like, in 24 hours this will be done, and, you know, if not, the Green Arrow is going to have to turn himself in and all that stuff. But he, you know, they had a really good plan, and it still managed to fall apart, and that's because Talia actually came in and helped Adrian out during their fight. So I was like, wow, not only did the plan fail, but now Oliver's been taken, which means he's missing as Oliver Queen the Mayor. So I don't know if they're leading towards something, or what's going to happen as far as certain revelations for characters, or possibly the entire city. But I was like, Oliver is missing. So we'll see how that plays out, and maybe they'll do it where, the easiest lie is, of course, Green Arrow came and he kidnapped Oliver Queen because he told him to turn himself in. It's a very easy answer to hold off some time, but it'll just be interesting to see how things do play out in this next episode. But I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a really good episode. I'm excited to see where they go with Felicity and the Helix storyline. We actually got to see Curtis do some cool stuff, like his T-spheres actually did a lot in this episode. Like they were, searching around and stuff, and then he uses it to help Renee and Dinah actually like break out of that room they were in, which I honestly thought they weren't trapped, because I'm like, Dinah, if she uses her sonic scream, it would blow the wall open. Like her powers are that strong. If she does it long enough, it would crumble the rock and they could get out. But I was like, okay, I guess they're trapped. But it was still cool to see it when he used the spears and they like flew through the wall. And I'm assuming that just happened a bunch until the wall broke down, because they never actually show how that ends. They show it like where two of them like fly through the wall, and then that's it. Because I was like, okay, now she can scream, and they still didn't show anything. It was like that was the beginning of how he helped them escape, and that was also the end. And they were just outside with Diggle by the end. I was like, okay, I kind of wish we got to see that, because I just wanted to see it. I don't know why I wanted to see that, but I was like, dude, Dinah can just scream and boom, the wall crumbles. That's easy. But he got to do some work with that, and he's trying to get through to Felicity a little bit when he's helping her. He realizes that they're actually hacking into a drone, so he's trying to talk through things with her, and Oliver is trying to talk with her a little bit. She's like, it's not the best time because of everything that's happening. So we'll see what happens in these next couple of episodes, because of course she's going to be utilizing a lot of their resources to find Oliver, which means that they will be utilizing her to do whatever random minor villain things that they're going to be doing. So there's a lot, and I'm actually looking forward to what they're going to do with that. Can't wait to see how the torturing and stuff goes with Oliver in this next episode, and how the team functions without him, as they have no leads or anything like that. And then Adrian's just walking around like, yeah, especially with him, I'm pretty sure he's basically, second in charge. I mean, I know Lance's position, so I guess he would be second in charge, and then Adrian would be number 3 as the DA. So it'll be very interesting to see how all that stuff plays out, with them, having to have this weird, back and forth in the office, and then knowing how everything is, going to be happening behind the scenes once they're out of the office fighting each other. So I'm looking forward to what they do with this next episode. I think they did a great job with Adrian as a villain, especially with, the truth being out. That was my favorite part about it. Just being able to he was so smug, because he is, he's like a million steps ahead of everybody, and he got rid of all the issues that he was having. He took out his wife. He may or may not have killed Pike, and now he has Oliver. So he was just ahead of them the whole episode, and he was just smug the whole way through. And it's like, oh, it's amazing. Like like I said, in the beginning when Lance was talking to him, it's like, what do you mean? What am I doing here? I take my job very seriously. And it's just little stuff like that, where he was just taunting them the whole way through, because he knows they can't use the evidence they have, or someone will die. So it was really good the way they utilized him, and utilized the team knowing the truth in this episode. So I can't wait to see what they do in the next one, because I'm very excited for it. But of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and I mean, I really am a bit confused as to exactly what this answer is supposed to be, as to who Oliver truly is. But I want to know what you guys think is going to happen with this torture, what this big question is supposed to be. What does Adrian expect to reveal to Oliver about himself? Because I really don't understand. Is it supposed to be the killer thing? Because I feel like that's about it. I mean, that's all I can think is, like, he's supposed to reveal to Oliver that he's actually a killer. That's honestly the only thing I can truly think of. Other than that, I got nothing. But we'd love to know your theories on what this answer is supposed to be and how things are going to play out. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.